your Indian consumer. Hey consumers, it's me Prasad with Pathak, your Indian consumer, back with another unboxing and review. Today we are taking a look at an entry-level action camera by SJcam from their SJ8 series. SJcam have come out with 3 new cameras in their SJ8 series, and today we take a look at one of the 3, which is the SJ8 Plus. All the 3 cameras from the SJ8 series come with a different chipset and a different sensor as well. The SJ8 Plus, which we are going to look at, comes with a Novatech 96683 chipset along with a Sony IMX117 sensor. It's a 12 megapixel action cam, comes with dual screens and many other interesting features which we shall explore as the video continues. We have got this camera from Banggood.com and you can find it to be listed there for 8,441 rupees, which is around 119 US dollars. SJcam has come out with 2 types of packaging. One is the full set and the other one is camera only. What we are going to unbox is the camera only set. On Banggood.com you will find it to be mentioned as the small box, and the full set to be mentioned as, yeah, you guessed it right, big box. The big box consists of all the accessories and mounts which are required for an action cam. The price difference between the big and the small box is of $20. Now without any further ado, let's open our box and find out what the small box has to offer. SJcam, like always, has this minimalistic white colored packaging. On the side you will find a QR code and a verification code using which you can verify the authenticity of this product. On the other side you will find some highlighted features, H.265 and USB Type-C being the interesting ones. On the bottom you will find the list of box content and some more technical detail. The first thing you will find inside the box is the camera itself. We have got the black color variant. The camera comes in 3 colors, black, white and pink. Next up you will get a nice and soft cleaning cloth which has SJ camera logo embossed on it. Further inside you will get a Type-C data syncing and charging cable. And finally you'll get a user manual. And yes, the user manual is in English as well. Every little detail of the camera is mentioned precisely in the user manual. Now finally let's take a look at the camera itself. First impressions, the camera feels really nice and solid. The rubberized plastic finish gives it a really premium feel and touch. The build quality absolutely won't make you feel like you're holding a budget action camera. Though the rubberized body gives a premium touch, it also attracts a lot of dust. This camera comes with a 2.8 aperture and a 170-degree wide-angle field of view. Taking a closer look at the camera, you will find a microphone at the right-hand side bottom corner, just besides the SJcam logo. On the left side, you will find 2 LED lights besides the SJ8 Plus print. Below that, you can see a 0.96-inch digital screen. On the top, you will find a shutter button and a speaker grill. On the right side you will find another noise cancellation microphone. You will also find a Type-C USB charging and data syncing port. On the other side you will find a power button. On the bottom side you will find a 1/4-inch screw hole to mount the camera and a battery housing. Let's quickly open it up and check out what capacity battery SJcam has provided us this time. So as you can see, it is a 1200 mAh battery. On paper SJcam mentions that the battery charges completely in 2 hours, and we have found the claim to be true. The camera supports up to a 128 GB micro SD card, and that is how the card has to be inserted. We are specially mentioning this because it wasn't indicated on the camera body. The camera roughly takes 2 seconds to turn on. This camera comes with a 2.3-inch IPS touchscreen, and yes, we have to mention that the display is really vibrant and sharp. Now let's take a look at the user interface. You can swipe down on the home screen to get to these 4 options: Wi-Fi, remote control, TV out and LCD off. Using the LCD off option, you can turn off the display while the camera will be still running. Doing so can help you save a lot of battery. You can swipe right or left to toggle between video or photo capture. Swiping up will get you to the modes option. Here you can see 9 different types of modes which you can use for shooting video or photo. Jumping into the settings, firstly you will see the resolution. Right now the camera is on maximum resolution, which is 4K video at 30 frames per second. It's good to see 1080p 120 frames per second on this camera, and you also get 720p 240 frames per second. You can also shoot in H.265 codec on this camera. We found the field of view to be locked at wide for most of the resolutions. There is an option to switch off the gyro sensor as well. You can also add a timestamp, play with the bitrate, ISO, sharpness, saturation, contrast. All these things can also be adjusted. Going into general setting, you can see that the language can be changed. Amongst all these settings, fast record was something we really liked. Turning on fast record will enable you to instantly record the video as soon as you turn on the camera. You also get the Wi-Fi option, using which you can connect the camera to your mobile phone. To turn on the Wi-Fi option, you can simply press the shutter button for few seconds. Doing so will turn on the Wi-Fi mode. As soon as the Wi-Fi mode is on, you can see an orange color LED light blinking. Now to connect the camera to your cell phone, you will have to download the SJcam Zone application. You will find a little visible lag in the recording and the displayed footage, as you can see right now. You can use this application to remotely control your camera and practically do everything using just your cell phone in a really simple and easy way. You can also view the recorded images and videos. But in order to check out the videos, you will have to download them first. While the camera is recording video, you will observe a red color dot blinking on the left hand side top corner. A similar recording blinking dot can be observed on the front digital display, along with a blue color LED light on the top, and even the shutter button blinks blue when the camera is recording. So there are 4 indications to notify that the camera is recording. The front digital screen also displays some important information like the resolution, recording time, total time left, and total space available on the card. This display is really helpful, especially when you're motovlogging. It is really nice to find a front display on a budget action camera. So kudos to SJcam for adding that. Now finally, let's take a look at some of the video samples from this camera. So the sample you're seeing right now is a 4K 30 frames per second sample. It is recorded with the gyro stabilization on. You can observe the stabilization of the camera as I'm walking. With 4K, the dynamic range looks really nice. The stability also seems decent. In this video, you can find the right hand side top corner to be a bit overexposed. Now let's check out the audio quality as well. So right now I'm recording at 1080p 60 frames per second using the SJcam SJ8 Plus. And yes, I'm recording outside on the Mumbai streets. This is a vlog style video sample. So in case if you're thinking of using this camera as your vlogging camera, you can get an idea about the sound quality, the picture quality. I'm recording the sound using the internal microphone on this camera. So the last SJ camera which I tested was the SJ7 Star, this one. And now I would like to compare the samples of this camera with this one. So switching in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so the sample that you're seeing right now is using the SJ7 Star. I hope that gives you an idea of the upgrade which SJcam has done. Let me just switch back. There we go. I'm back on the 8 Plus. We have observed the footage from this camera to be on a warmer side. All the footage which you have seen till now was raw, but with little color correction, this is what you can achieve. The camera also takes time lapses at 4K 30 frames per second. Let's check out some of the time lapses. Now let's color correct and see how it looks. This camera is also capable of taking slow motion videos at 2x, 4x and 8x. The 8x footage is at 720p resolution. Now let's do a motovlogging test. In this video you can observe the exposure adjustment as my bike passes through the shadows of the trees. At one portion the whites are really overexposed, but the camera was quick enough to adjust the exposure and get back to normal. You can also observe the wide field of view, which is wide enough to capture most of the scene and also does not give a fisheye effect. Overall, considering the price tag, the camera does produce good footage. Now let's take a look at some of the pictures that we clicked. All these pictures are clicked at the maximum setting. These ones are in the daylight. And these are clicked indoors with artificial light. If you ask for our review on this camera, there are some pros which need to be mentioned and some cons which cannot be ignored. Let's begin with the pros first. Firstly, we have really loved the build quality on this camera, especially considering the price tag. Secondly, you're getting a double display action camera at a budget from a company like SJcam, another nice thing. Thirdly, and probably this is the thing which we have loved the most, which is the display. The 2.3-inch IPS display is really sharp and punchy. Not just the display, even the user interface is really user friendly. Another good thing about this camera is the audio quality. In terms of audio, SJcam has really improved a lot. Speaking of the image quality, yes, it produces good raw footage, but we personally feel the image will need a little post-production in terms of adjusting the saturation and the color temperature. It also comes with electronic image stabilization and 3-axis gyro stabilization. This camera even has a decent battery life. We could easily record 2 hours of 1080p 60 frames per second footage, keeping the display on with a single charge. This camera is not waterproof, not something you can expect at a budget, but yes, the kit which SJcam provides is always really nice. Now speaking of the cons, firstly, you will have to import this device based on your location. Banggood.com makes the purchasing of this device really simple, but do consider custom duty charges based on your location. And the second con will be the big brother of this camera, which is the SJcam 8 Pro. The SJcam 8 Pro comes with the Umbrella H22S85 chipset, which when compared with this camera is much better. The big box or the full kit of the 8 Pro comes for $179, which is just $40 more than this camera. So if you can chip in $40 more, we would recommend you to go with the SJcam 8 Pro. But if you are on a budget and if you're not going to record at 4K 60 frames per second, then this camera is the best option for you. Considering all the factors, we would like to give this camera an overall rating of 7 out of 10. If you want to buy this camera, the best buy link is below in the description. If you want to check out the video of SJ7 Star, I will link it in the I button. For now, this was Prasad with Pathak, your Indian consumer, signing off, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, do remember to surf before you swipe, and if you don't need, you don't buy. Bye bye.